all have.
I don't have one.
You're live now. I just got the notification.
Yeah.
It's got a glowing face, clearly.
Yeah. Now this is just vault lighting. I came up with
my natural look.
We came up with a couple of new words. So obviously the word unprecedented has been replaced with daiquiri. In our Four Pillars chat just before, the word pivot has been replaced with martini. I've come up with a new song because the still that has moved to the new Four Pillars Surrey Hills side is Eileen. So from the oak barrel, we're going to walk up and go, come on, Eileen, I'm bored of COVID-19. So that's going to be a bit of fun. But we're live on all the channels here on the 17th of June. Don't know what day it is. Haven't known for about 3 months. For the next whiskey. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. The next whiskey round at table. Scott Fitzsimons here from the Oak Barrel, joined by Andy Milne from Southtrade, Matt Bailey from the Scotch Malt Whisky Society, and Alexandra Dahlenburg from Speakeasy Group, Milne, Eau de Vie, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Nick and Nora's, all those beautiful things, who couldn't join us last week because she was too busy celebrating her promotion. So congratulations, mate. How good does it feel?
Definitely feeling the heat of the promotion this week.
Yeah. So it officially means that you're more important than all of us combined now. You were just more important individually, now officially more than all of us combined.
No, it just means that I've become delivery driver for 4 venues instead.
Yeah, that'll work. That happens.
We have done a wonderful thing with Sean Baxter from Never Never, and he's provided us with litres and litres of sanitizer for the venues. So
nice.
We took a delivery of 75 litres at Milne, and I'm just shipping that around the venues, and the Nick and Nora's one went straight to them. So just delivery driver at this stage.
Hey, you got a job. That works.
Yeah, no, it's been good. And I'm actually out at Nick and Nora's this Thursday and Friday night, which I'm super excited about. Yeah.
And, Parramatta, 5 and zip at the moment in the National Rugby League Championship at the moment. So Parramatta is in party mode. But what I'm actually going to do...
It's all right. Roosters are on your tails. Don't worry.
Oh, you support bloody East. Oh, God.
I live East. So...
I used to think you were a decent bloke, mate.
That I support.
Hey, I support where I live.
I support Manly.
Oh, no, we're done. Sorry, it's over. I'm like Eastern Manly supporters. It's just not right.
Leave meeting. Yeah.
For all. David and/or Caroline Taylor, good evening to the Fantastic Four. Glad to see you, mate. Caleb Chan, g'day. Welcome to see you. Now, tonight's a little bit different because we don't have a special guest as such, but Alex has come up with some sort of silly quiz that I'm definitely going to lose at. Which, can I do some shots before we get into this?
Definitely not.
Yeah, I'm going to need some.
And we need some shots, or we need some whiskey in the glass before we go. Darren Howie says, "G'day, everyone." Rob Akers says, "Title bump, though." I assume he's referring to the football. I don't know anything about that. Sorry.
Title bump, though.
And
all I know is the spirit of 1986 compels us at the moment. Last year, Parramatta won a flag. Silence. I'm going to finish my gin quickly. Should we go around the grounds, see what everyone's drinking?
I haven't poured yet, so I'll pour. Actually, do you know what? I will pour and at the same time ask the group what the hell I'm drinking, because I don't know. Liquid is for sure. This I've seen loads of different conversations about what this is, and never really got an answer that's aligned with everyone.
Is this Kiriyoshi, is it?
No. No, so this is a gift from my father-in-law from when he went to Yamazaki Distillery, so Suntory. So one of these guys.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But I have no idea, other than single malt whiskey, what it is I'm drinking.
Were they the cast samples that they used to sell that they don't anymore?
I mean,
I remember seeing one of those.
This was recently. So this was he was there for the Rugby World Cup. So it was only last year that he picked this up. So it's not like old Suntory stock. It's relatively new, but it's single malt whiskey. So is it Yamazaki? Is it young Yamazaki? Is it something else? It tastes lovely from when I last tried it. It's fruity, it's fresh. It's on the nose. It's quite young.
By the way, sorry, the title bump comment was actually for Alex. That was just explained. While you're a delivery driver for all 4 venues now, you at least got a title bump. Sorry.
I was too busy thinking about rugby league to think it was about anything else.
Yeah, we were talking about rugby league.
What else could it be about?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so if anyone listening has any idea what that is, I'm intrigued. It smells and tastes lovely.
Yeah,
but I've got not a clue what it is.
Well, yeah, like fresh and fruity. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's youthful. Like
that would lean towards Yama over Hakushu because I'm pretty sure
it's definitely Yama over Hakushu. It's not Hakushu at all. Like I've been really lucky to try young to old Hakushu, and it's not got any of that in it. So it's definitely young Yama. There's barely, if any, Mizunara in there. It's more bourbon, like.
Yeah. William Lamb comments that he actually picked up a very similar one from the Hakushu store that was from Hakushu, presumably. But wasn't a huge fan himself, personally, of what everyone. But I reckon they're little. I'm sure I've seen them. I had this discussion somewhere. I think they're like little car samples that are distillery exclusive type bottlings and that sort of thing.
What are you drinking, Scotty?
I've just poured myself a bit of Tasmanian Lark whiskey, the 58% cask strength, which I've got a bit of a shelf out the back. I went and just grabbed a couple of things from that need to be bottle killed, or that one needs to be bottle killed. Got a few other things that I grabbed, keeping it to simple classics tonight. Yourself?
Of course.
Upgraded from Jack.
Yeah.
Just a slight bump.
There's no shame in that in the first place.
I drank it all on the weekend.
I like that there's just a definite jump. It's just like Jack to Mona 14. It's like
I was expecting Gentleman Jack, to be honest. That's the logical jump.
Brown Foreman sent some lovely gift packs out to a whole heap of.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, they got finished on the weekend. But I tell you now, I could not, and I'm not trashing it at all. I could not drink the honey, the Jack Daniels.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I could not, and
but it's
like necking it, and just going like, no, I couldn't do it.
You got to treat that like a liqueur, and it's the same thing. Like how many people can just drink glasses of Alizé as a sipping on its own? It's like you mix that. I mean, some of us can. You never know. You mix that with soda though, like just to really just make it a soda mix, and all of a sudden that sweetness just kills, and you get this really lovely.
Might have something to do with the fact that I don't like honey, but
yeah. Probably a lot to do with that.
I can't really get my head around the honey, but the fire I can do because there's certain Brown Foreman brand ambassadors who have company cards that only transactions they can do is shots of Jack Daniel's fire. So like
I'm the one that can do Jack Daniel's rye, and I'm like, how you doing?
Yeah. Jack Rye's a good product. Did you hear about? Speaking of Brown Foreman, they sold off the Collingwood and a few other.
And other things. What was the other one called? The entry level.
The Collingwood early times and Canadian Mist.
Yeah, good old Canadian Mist. We all drink that pretty regularly, so that's a good one.
It's an interesting move, and maybe we get back into this because I think it actually brings up a few other things. Is Brown Foreman famous for Jack Daniels trying to? And again, we're not using the word pivot anymore. We're Martini. So Jack Daniels trying to Martini into being a really specialist premium booze supplier. So we can talk about it later because I've got some thoughts about this, and I'm sure you guys do too. But in all seriousness, that Milne Highland Park is one of the best Highland Parks I've tried in the past 5 years, along with the Valfather.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Valfather Valkyrie series, when they're using more of their own, Orkney peat, from a distillery that personally, for me, lost its way in the last decade and is now coming back to where it should be as one of the great Scottish distilleries. But yeah, the Milne release was excellent, to the point where when we first put it up online on our website, we were getting people with like billing addresses from Orkney getting it sent to various, what I assume are relatives and friends around Sydney to hold on to it, to, obviously mule it back.
It's the most popular I've been on social media. I was getting messages from all around the world. Even people in the distillery were messaging me going, "Hi, we need it. Like, we can't get it." So I know of multiple bottles that have gone overseas. We couldn't ship any overseas, unfortunately. But it's still available on our website. And I believe you've still got it in, Scotty?
Yeah, I got a few more back in when it was re-upped a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. But I'll tell you something terrible. It went up on this website that I'm really not happy with it being on.
Who's bad?
I was like, there's so many one I can say that I'm not going to say.
I'm not going to say any. I'm not going to say a single word.
This is a trap. This is a trap.
But like, it went up on like this Crazy Deals website, and it's not Crazy Deals. Apparently that's one, but it's on one of those bulk buying fun websites that's super cheap that I buy Ugg boots off. And I found it on that website, and I was like, what?
So certain retailers who plug into those deals to those websites to like shift, bulk VB cases and that sort of stuff, it actually reads their, just scrapes their website. And if it's on the website, it just pushes it up. Which is like
bulk cases of VB though.
Yeah, I know, but that's the problem. It's why
the ticket clipping sites for exactly. Yeah. Yes.
I was like tap email. Like,
same thing happened with
you can't because I think I know the one, and I saw that this week, and I was like, oh, different.
and that's what they said. They had no control over who buys it and where they put it.
Yeah,
and that was a little bit upsetting to me. But I'll just stop being a whiskey snob.
Yeah, but it did happen with quite a big whiskey festival a few years back, where to shift a few tickets towards like the week before the event, they showed up on this like half price website, and it really hurt them the next year and the year after, because everyone's like, why am I going to pay full price?
Yeah.
Because the week before, the capacity is so large that the week before I'm just going to get it for 2 tickets for the same price. And
it's really funny, and like every PR company, like having been in that position running Whiskey Show in the UK, like there was always, all the PR companies and the agencies that, will help you towards the end. They're just like, and we're going to do this campaign and we're going to do these half price deals. I'm like, but these people bought tickets 6 months ago, 9 months ago from all over the world. Like, why are we then going to be like, screw you? If you waited till a week before, you can get it half price. It's like, nah. This is like the one thing that is never going to happen is we do this deal, because it just pisses everyone off. It's such a poor.
Matt Bailey, what are you drinking?
So before I let Matt Bailey talk, just quickly.
No.
That's always a good idea. A quick question from Luke on the Facebook. What was different about the Milne Highland Park, before we get too far? Just like a quick wrap up of what that was, and because it wasn't a single cask, it was about 1,200 bottles, I think.
3 single casks from the single cask series put together. We don't know sort of anything or much else from that, but it's 1,761 bottles, 56.5% ABV. It was a combination of European seasoned sherry, American seasoned sherry. And it's the first launch that they've ever done Australia only. We know the Highland Park does quite regional releases, because I know I've fought to get a couple of regional releases to have on my back bar. So it's the first time they've done a collaboration with Australia for a regional release. And it's the first time they've ever done a collaboration with a restaurant or a bar for this specific, sort of in this category of release. So It's very light on the smoke. I know being Speakeasy group, we would have liked probably a little bit more like peat influence, but that sherry influence is absolutely beautiful. It's your thick dates and prunes.
And I am thick, so it speaks to me.
I do add water, a lot of water to it. Oh yeah. Bailey,
Very cool.
What are you drinking?
I started with an Orthrusk. So 2009 distillate Orthrusk. I was in the mood for a proper refill bourbon cask Orthrusk, which was a panel sample, an SMWS panel sample, which was up for assessment, but we didn't end up going with it. But it was it was cask 17055, and it was 100 mils in here once upon a time, but now there's not much. But I was just having a taste of that.
Fantastic. I had some amazing things arrive with me this week that, one, I don't know whether I'm allowed to talk about, but I'm going to breach that like very gently. I had some amazing stuff arrive from Crafty this week. I'm yet to unbox it. I'm super excited to try. And then I'm hearing that a certain distillery is doing their first ever peated release with Australia. First ever peated release, and they're doing it just with Australia. And I have the cask samples with me, and I'm going to help choose which one they choose for Australia. And then I'll be doing a lot of the launching of it at Milne, and through Peyton Mate. So that's a little bit of a teaser.
Yeah, so we're going to need to get Alex to do a few more shots tonight before that gets divulged, I think.
Yeah. We'll get every question.
There is no Jack around, so my lips are sealed.
Yeah. Well, but
I'm sending you a case of Fireball as we speak.
Yeah. We do have the Alex Dahlenburg fan club in on the Facebook chat here at the moment because Alex Woodmus says, and it's bloody delicious in reference to the Highland Park.
Alex Woodmus is an absolute champion. He's with us at O2V Melbourne.
So that's cheating. That is cheating. He's in the group.
Delete that comment. Nope.
Yep.
Out from the record.
End group. Outdone. And Luke Myers says that how you described it suits the aesthetic of Milne, which, it does.
Thank you. All right, boys, let's do some quiz.
I'm ready for quiz.
Okay.
Before we start this, can I just lay out that I won poker the other week? So when I get
hold on, no, you actually didn't.
Yeah, I did. But
Mitch won.
So let's be clear. Let's be clear. You won a game of chance and bluff.
So when I get absolutely drilled at this, it's like there's something else that I'm good at.
Yeah, you lack the skill, but you're very good at the bluff. This is cool. Yeah. I'm happy with that.
I stand by. I will not play poker with you guys until it's around a table where I can look you guys in the eye and take you for your money personally.
I'm wearing my sunglasses.
That's an unfair advantage for you because you'll just clean Scotty out straight away.
Yeah.
Worst bluff.
Do you bring your own FPOS machine? Like now that we're a cashless society, so you take my money straight away.
Bring one of those square readers and just keep fleecing him. It's easy money.
Just there straight away.
Are we writing the answers down and going through them at the end, or are we just going to shout them out, or what's the goal?
Okay, so is that you talking about the quiz, or how I'm going to take you for your money up during poker when we play it live?
The quiz.
Okay, the quiz.
Is it first one in?
What I would love to do is I'd love to give I don't have access to it. That's the problem. I wanted to give our listeners a chance to jump in before you guys, right? Which was 10 seconds, but I don't have the stream of that, so only you guys do. So
there is also about a 10-second delay from what we see here to there. 10
seconds. All right, we're just going to start it. Are you ready?
And so just before, a quick good day to Karina, who's I think we all know in the chat. Before I forget, Matt Bailey showed me something in the staging room that you and I need to see after this. Yes, sorry.
Yes.
Could you? Yeah.
Sorry.
I wish I was in the staging room. Is that clearly? Yeah, you don't normally show me that, Matt. You know, Jesus.
Yeah, you'll see it. You'll see it.
I didn't say it was pretty. I just said it was shown.
I mean, that's what everyone says.
Alrighty, so quiz. First one with the answer.
Are we hand up, shout it out? What's the deal?
You have to say, what's your buzzword? Andrew.
Chicken.
Matt Bailey.
Dram. Dram.
Scotty.
Martini. A quick g'day to Vicky Dahlenburg in the chat as well. It says g'day, everyone.
Hi, Mum.
Hi, Mum.
Hi, Mum.
So it's great. There's now 4 people watching, which means that all of our mums have joined on the live stream now.
And my whiskey thief.
24 watching on the society streams.
I'm joking.
My mum doesn't, but my mother-in-law does. And even I turns out I missed her comment just last week, and she commented saying hello, and I completely missed it. So if you are listening, hello, Sue.
Sometimes I make mum and dad watch in different rooms, so I get 2 views rather than just the one.
Get your phones out. Get your phones and your laptops. Just put your laptop upstairs. It's fine.
All right. What company owns Mclaren?
Chicken.
Edrington. Oh, I forgot the keyword.
The answer is Edrington.
Thank you. All right.
Damn it.
Robert Burns is a well-known Scottish icon, but what was his role in the whiskey industry?
So who?
Dram.
Robert, wait, Matt, I know that you're there. Robert Burns.
Oh, okay.
Matt.
He was a poet.
And?
That's all I'm going to go with.
Not his main role in the whiskey industry.
What was his role in the whiskey industry?
Martini.
Scott.
Did he bankroll an early distillery?
Negative. This is so awesome. I knew this one. This is cool. He was an excise man, a tax man, which is how he was around all the distilleries and wrote the poems.
Yeah.
Huh? I didn't know that.
I've hosted so many Robbie Burns suppers, and I didn't know that. That's good to know.
No, I think we did one years ago with Laura Hay, and I'm pretty sure she mentioned that as well. So yeah, I have heard that before.
All right.
Oh, you're not paying enough attention.
What is the conversational name for the 3 different cuts of spirit as it comes off the stills?
Martini.
Oh, I think it was.
I heard Andy first on that one.
I heard Andy, yeah.
Heads, hearts, and tails.
Thank you. All right. Let's go back up to this one. The Gaelic name for whiskey, and what does it translate to?
Dram.
Martini.
I said chicken way before you all.
Andy got that. Go for it, Andy.
Ushkabar, water of life.
All right. I'm going to take it up to a little bit harder now. What was the name of the well-known malt milling machine that put itself out of business by being so efficient?
Chicken.
Never broke down or needed replacing. I heard chicken.
And I've completely blanked. It's the milling machine, and it's not Bobby. It is Porteous. Porteous Mill.
Porteous Mill is correct. Come on, boys.
Which boys are you talking to?
But okay. You know, first 2 shots, chicken, I guess.
If I shout, I think chicken's a quicker word to say than martini. That's what I'm getting at.
I did choose a 1-syllable word for a reason.
Okay, how long is a Cooper's apprenticeship?
Martini. Is this a trick question?
No.
Is it like something like a lifetime because a Cooper's always learning until they hand on?
No.
Ram.
Matt Bailey.
2 years.
No.
3 years.
No.
It's longer than that, I'm pretty sure.
I was going to say 2.
It is 4 years.
Bonus question. Do you know what the tradition is when they graduate, what they do to that person?
They put them in a barrel.
And?
Roll them down a hill.
Fill it full of water.
They fill it full of water, yes.
But they also, I've seen them like covered in tar and feathers.
The feather and tar, yes, but they don't do that anymore.
Pretty sure that's illegal these days.
I saw that recently at Speyside Festival, like 4 years ago.
Maybe close to 10 years ago.
I have a friend that has just graduated, so I will definitely ask him what happened to him.
Because we're on about a 10-second delay, I'm actually seeing some comments in. So Karina Liotta actually beat us to 4 years, and David and or Caroline Taylor beat us to tar as well. So they each get a point. And a quick shout out to my uncle Craig Fitzsimons, who's sitting in his shed drinking Hahn Ice beer with a fire, which is what he's always doing every time. So g'day, Craig. Hope you're
Craig.
You hope your Hahn Ice is as cold as it needs to be.
It's as cold as ice. Which one's that?
I know it's not available in New South Wales, so I don't know too much of the advertising. There's no Victorian beer.
On?
No, Hahn Ice.
Ah.
Yeah. Anyway, sidetracked.
All right. What is a worm tub used for?
Chicken. You just gotta be quicker, you know.
You go ahead. You said it. You said chicken. You go ahead.
It's a
Can you repeat the
condenser.
question?
What is a worm tub used for? It's a condenser. So it's using it for condensing spirit when it comes out of the spirit still.
Fantastic.
Okay, so additional question.
Can you
How many
stand you on mute?
Go on. How many distilleries have worm tubs? 16.
I like you.
You
I
just
like
want
you
to
a
ask
lot.
questions here? Like, go for it. I'll just leave.
Do you want to then, should we then try and name them? I have them written down somewhere.
5, go.
Old Pulteney, Speyburn, Dal Ewan, Mortlack, Craig Ellicky, Bal Blair, Annock. That's 7.
You almost forgot one of the other distilleries you represent. You almost skipped Annock. How about that? Imagine that. Upset. You're fired.
All right. What lock does Ardbeg use as water source?
Chicken.
Martini. Oh, damn it.
Scotty.
Did you?
No.
We were the same time.
Because Ugadal is the C. Koi Vrecken is the whirlpool. So it's Ugadal, isn't it?
Oh.
Correct.
First one's
Yeah.
Correct. Who perfected and patterned design for the coffee still?
Chicken.
You go ahead. Yep.
Sorry, Matt, are you blaming the internet connection for this?
It's very scratchy, and I'm not going to blame the connection though. I'm not blaming the connection. I'm just saying
at the time of the question, my computer crashed and both my screens went black.
That's happened every question so far. So yeah.
Is it me that's scratchy?
Anus Coffee, the Irish excise man.
Okay.
I'm actually getting you guys okay. I think, Matt, if you just sent me a message, I think it's just you at the moment. I just did
It'll be my connection. Yeah, I'll have to check that.
Yeah, I cycled through Facebook and everything. It looks like it's okay for me.
So coffee still. Who patented and perfected it?
Anus Coffee.
Thank you.
Good bloke.
Yeah, top guy.
Particularly when he was drunk.
All right, name 3 types of barley used in Scotland for production.
Martini.
Graham, you go ahead.
Maris Otter is a famous one. Golden Promise. And I think Westminster is still being used, is it not?
I would have gone with Optic. You name one distillery that's still using Golden Promise.
Yeah.
Well, no one, but I mean,
No one.
The question didn't say in production now, but
okay. In which century were you referring, Alex? Sorry.
This or the last one.
Mclaren is still using.
Well, didn't get it.
Mclaren is still using Golden Promise, just on a very, very small scale.
Oh, okay. So they use one shovel of it once a year. Cool.
Yeah, they'll do a special release that's $4,000, and 1% of it's Golden Promise.
And you can put the word golden on the bottle then.
Any cool comments coming through?
David and/or Caroline Taylor says, "How's the lark?" It's very good. Actually, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Nothing. Alex Woodmess, who is speaking from within the Speakeasy tent, going back a little bit. Robbie Burns preferred rum to whiskey and tried to use his poetry to bankroll a move to the Caribbean. Which, to be fair, I probably would have done as well in that era of Scotland. Caribbean was probably a little bit warmer than the Scottish heaters were up to at that point in time.
No, give me Scotland any day. I don't like the heat. In saying that, like my house is like 26 degrees right now, but
yeah.
Anything under 20 degrees Celsius is unlivable.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't lived.
No, love it.
No way.
There's an excitement. I think I've struggled with winter here because you can't put layers on here. Like I can't find that you're sort of going, oh yeah, let's put a jacket and a jumper and a t-shirt or a shirt. It's, a shirt and a jumper and you're warm again. And that's winter. Whereas, Scotland, London, you had, I remember going to work in the morning and you had your boots, you had your thick socks, you had your jeans, you had your t-shirt, your jumper, your jacket, your scarf, your hat. And it's just like, it's layers and it's nice and comfy. There's something special about that.
There is. I agree with that.
Special and really awkward and annoying.
Nah.
Yeah, and the moment you walk inside, you've got to take off 6 layers.
Yeah, that's true. That's where it sucked getting public transport, because you get on a train and start taking it all off, and you get off and put it all back on.
Really hard to take off stockings when they're under your jeans when you walk inside, and then you end up like really.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Still prefer the cold over the heat. All right.
Quick shout out to the Corowa Distillery, who have replaced my lost hoodie in the past 2 weeks. So I'm a happy man again with
very cool.
And Nancy from the Whisky Thief sends her love. The Whisky Thief sends her love. All right. So g'day, Nancy.
Hi, Mum. Hi, Grandma. Can you get off the feed now, please?
Oh, that's Grandma. Oh, come on. Can we get her on Zoom?
Bring her on. Get her on Zoom. Yes.
I've heard a lot about Grandma.
Grandma's amazing. All right, let's get back to this. How many calories in a measure of whiskey? 30 mils.
Say it again.
How many calories in a 30 ml measure of whiskey?
Chicken.
And if you're going to be specific, at 40% and hint it's less than a banana.
Chicken. What's the parameter?
I just gave them to you.
No, what's the parameter that we're allowed to get it within?
Oh, you got to get it spot on.
90.
Right.
Wrong. Did you just Google it, Matt?
I don't have Google at my fingertips, no. But I'm going to go with 100.
No.
Sorry, so what's the unit of measure? What's the unit of measure we're trying to find here? So 30 mils. 30 mils, 40%.
30 mils at 40%.
How many what? Sorry.
Calories. In 30 mils of whiskey at 40%.
Martini.
It's less than a banana.
Martini. 0?
No.
If only.
It's less than a banana. It's not going to be that much less than a banana. Let's be honest.
None of you have got within 10. Okay.
Do I look like the sort of person that has ever monitored calories in his life?
Now you know, Scott. This is what this is. This is educational.
So we have one from the audience. From Karina, says 59.
She's the closest.
Okay, winning so far.
Yes.
42.
Higher.
David Taylor.
64.
Graham, I'm going to go with 65 because you said 64. I'm going to go 65. Screw you.
David Taylor says -3, but I think he's referring to the temperature in Launceston this morning rather than calories.
All right, it is 67.
Oh,
67 calories.
Okay.
And I said multiple sources. Some said 64, but then most of them are 67 calories, which is less than a banana. So have a whiskey rather than a banana in the mornings. It's much better for your waist. Drink responsibly.
Yeah, I was about to say, where's the drink responsibly comment after that one?
All right. Explain the term monkey shoulder.
Martini.
Scotty.
It is a whiskey that is dispensed from a concrete mixer around Sydney, which happened to get his name from a certain physical ailment that people would get when raking a malting floor, which was quite hard work in being, because you malt for many hours, You get a sore shoulder, and because you're using one shoulder more than the other, it hunches over, and it's a bit like Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hunchback of Scottish malting floors.
Yes, basically right.
In a very roundabout way. I tried to get it wrong, but I think I might have still got it right accidentally.
Just on the society feed, just whilst we're there, Darren Howie tells Andy to move to Melbourne if you need that winter experience. And Rob Akers says, tell Scotty to harden up. James Finnegan, yes, on the calories was 82, and Keenan Sailors was 63. So Keenan, you got pretty close.
So Keenan wins, basically.
Yeah.
There you go. See, it's an educational night on the Whiskey Roundtable. I've had a drink.
We'll all learn
and you're with the monkey shoulder. One arm would actually end up longer than the other.
Oh shit!
To be specific.
No, it's just a muscle building thing, isn't it?
That's like one of those great stories that you get at distilleries. It's like, and you know, and the haggis have got one leg longer than the other, so they can run up the hills nice and quick. And our malt men are very similar breed, and they've got one arm longer than the other. Yeah. Sorry.
Wow, you will be sorry after that. Wow.
Yeah.
The mute button for Andy.
No, you gave me the host privileges back, so it's, you should have held on to them while you still had them.
All right, Andy, nerd. All right, come on.
Y'all done now? You ready for the next one?
We're ready.
Quick. Name 3 sizes in casks.
Martini.
Scott,
Damn.
you beat me.
I think that's Matt Bailey.
Oh, that was
He hasn't had a go.
pity.
He hasn't had a go. It's a pity win. Go on.
Yeah.
Shut up. I got in early. Shut up, Scotty. I was just going to say punching butt hogshead.
You're a butt. Yeah, that'll do. That's it. Cool.
Yeah, that'll do.
Do we know where the word hogsheads come from?
Yeah, you can hear me and everything.
You're a bit in now, but I've got you back now. Yep.
Just checking. Got you back now.
Yeah, don't you we've talked about this. I always do and calling in from
live.
Yep, I'm there.
Everyone hear me all right now?
Yeah.
I think a combination of your internet and mine is not working out too well, but you go ahead.
Okay. Ooh, this is the fun one. This is a long one, so like you have to get in quick with your name. What is the name of Conor McGregor's whiskey, and what is it named after?
Chicken. It's proper 12, and it's named after the district that he grew up in Ireland. So he was in the 12th district in Dublin.
Fantastic. And bonus points for someone that can give me positive tasting notes.
Proper shit.
Proper shit. Yeah. do you remember tasting ethanol in science? It's very.
Yeah,
ethanol. Ethanol is the right word there.
The stuff that Bushmills didn't want.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
Is anyone keeping score, just out of interest? Do I know how much I'm winning by?
Sorry.
No, I think Facebook chat won tonight, to be honest.
Couple of parts to this one. What year did Prohibition start? Bonus points for if you can give me the day it was passed and the day and year it ended.
Chicken. It was 1919.
Oh no, I said the day it passed.
Oh, day it passed.
Dram.
Go for it.
I'm pretty sure it was. You want the date or the year? Sorry.
Bonus points if you can give me the date, but give me the year and then we'll go from there.
I'm pretty sure it passed 1920.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Can you give me the month?
No, I wouldn't get that close.
June.
Is it September?
Okay. January.
Yeah.
January 17th, 1920.
January would have been a good guess because it would have been from Andy's comment, it would have been sort of like worked out in 1919 and then passed in 1920. The Great Prohibition of 2020. Great.
Yeah, you're right. It was 19 into 20.
And how long between when it was passed before it was enacted? Was it? I remember was it like a week or was it a little bit longer than that?
It was December 1919.
Yeah. So a month or so. Yeah.
Just on that point though, that one of my favorite historical subjects are the photos from when it was enacted in January 1920. I've seen these photos and I love them, and it's like photos of like distilleries, like just with bungs off casks upside down into the river, and just like streams and streams of whiskey and rum just flowing straight into the local water source and like rid of it.
And the later protests are just like people walking down the street with a sign saying "We want beer." Like
yeah. And there's a classic photo of 1933 when Prohibition ended, which was, and there's the first day that some of the pubs opened, and there's this photo of all these gentlemen just packed along the front of a bar. And there's one bloke with just the biggest shit-eating grin on his face, holding a lager, and it's just amazing. He's the happiest man on earth with that lager in his hand. It's just an amazing photo. Isn't that crazy?
We've all been there.
Yeah, we've all been there, but like 13 years there though. Isn't that incredible? Just another time period. Yeah.
Well, I was actually going to ask which prohibition were we talking about? Were we talking about the American one or the, Canberrian one?
Canberrian one.
Yeah, they had their own prohibition, I'm pretty sure.
Or the Wick one.
True, yes, the Wick one.
Yes. The Wick one is one of my favorites. And I was actually, Andy, have you been in any of the Friday night chats with Anthony Cowie in it as well?
Yeah. He came to the tasting that I did at Oak Barrel. And right. When you just know someone is from an area, and every tasting I do, there is always someone from the place that I'm hosting, and you mentioned that
before. It's amazing, and Anthony's one of my
close. I remember just walking in, I just looked at him, and I just went, and I'm just like, he had a Pulteney t-shirt on, but I don't know why. Something in me clicked, and I just went, "You're from Wick, aren't you?" He's like, "Bye,
welcome back."
And he's told me a bit about the Wick prohibition just because of the fisheries and the dock workers just
so they were effectively getting up in the morning. This is early 1920s, so it was 22 to 36, I think, that they had prohibition. But they were waking up, walk up to the distillery, fill a flagon with new make, go out and fish, get shit-faced, come back. If their wives were clever enough, they'd be waiting there to take the fish and sell them. They would then just take the rest of the money that they had and go to the pub, drink themselves, go home, go to bed, wake up, do the same again. So you can't blame them.
Well, it's what I call a healthy lifestyle.
That's a pretty typical lifestyle. It's pretty good.
I have a question for you.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I have to sideline you for this, Andy. I'm sorry. When I put this in, I didn't realize that it has something to do with a brand that you look after, so you might be advantaged with this one.
Well, no, include him, see if he gets it wrong.
I reckon he might get this. All right, okay. You're on like a 5-second delay. Right.
I'll delay my yes.
Of the starward cask that was matured on the Queen Elizabeth ship.
So what was the type, or what was the type, or was the name?
Sorry?
what was the type of cask and what was the name of the cask?
What's the name of the cask?
Oh.
Which then Matt Bailey.
Seafarer, right? The Seafarer. Am I getting that right?
That was the name of the boat, wasn't it?
But also the name of the release.
The release. So I thought you said what was the name of the cask.
They named the cask the Seafarer, and then that obviously became the release.
Okay.
And so it was on the Queen Elizabeth, was it? Was that the ship it was on?
Yeah.
I remember tasting the Seafarers, the both of them, at the bar at Starwood, but I never grabbed onto the packs or anything. But I remember enjoying the whiskey. I'll be completely honest. I didn't get much of a influence from that. It's a bit like for me, it was a bit like sending Ardbeg up into space. It's like, I don't know. I'm not, it's like, it still tastes like Ardbeg. It's like, it still tastes like Starwood, but I didn't get too much of a, I don't know, coastal influence or anything that it was maybe supposed to do. A bit like Jefferson at sea or a bit like Ardbeg in space or something.
I tried them separately. So Paul Slater.
That's not a criticism, by the way. That's just like that's just a remark. Tasting note. It's just saying I didn't get much of a coastal influence off it.
So if you're just tuning in, Matt Bailey hates Ardbeg and Starwood.
Yeah. Top headlines. Great. Scotty puts me in the boo again. Thanks a lot.
That'll be on the news.com headline tonight. Yeah. So it's far better than the Big Brother shit that they send you. Paul brought me a sample across, and it was like the end of a bottle. So I always doubt a sample when it's like that much at the bottom of a bottle, because it just isn't a true representation of the whiskey. But I found it really, and I don't know if I was trying to find it, because I didn't try them side by side. I tried it, and then 2 weeks later, I was at the distillery and tried the Distillery cask. So I tried them completely separately. But I remember thinking it was really saline, like it was really bracingly dry. But I don't know if that's my mind going, this is what you should expect from a cask.
And how much of the dryness of that is from the tannins of the oak, and how much is from the sort of the sea air or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like questions, but anyway, I thought it was on par with great Starwood sort of, releases, but at the same time, I didn't get sort of this thing about it, but yeah.
Yeah,
it's interesting though. I found it with a couple of the more recent, what used to be the white label New World Distillery Starwood projects that are now under a different label or their own labels. Like the more recent ginger beer casks, I think there was a cognac cask from a couple of years ago. They're not as immediate as they used to be. I think they're better, but like ginger beer cask 1, 2, and those early double woods and reverse doubles and stuff, they were big on your nose and then sort of would like filter away a little bit. The current ones are like, okay, the hit's not there, but once you've knocked the head off that bottle, and even in the glass, you go, okay, that's where it's going for. And I think it's an interesting thing. I don't know whether that's their blending craft or their distilling techniques that are affecting that. I think the releases are getting better. They're just not quite as immediate as they used to be.
The ginger beer definitely is. It's a build up like for. I'm just reaching for 5 that's been open for a little while now. To see, because I found it, when you first open a whiskey, it's always just like, it's a bit clean, it's a bit light, it doesn't show that much. But number 4, it really opened up with time, and I think this is doing the same.
Yeah. Quick shout out to sorry.
I was gonna, if you don't mind me showing a photo. This is a bit of Starwood history. If you've it says host disabled attendee screen sharing. But anyway, I'll share it in the chat later or something. Unless you want to enable it or something, Scotty, I just want to show a photo of an early Starwood. Many may not have seen, but I think this is cool anyway. Here we go. I'll share this up. Everyone can see this.
Oof.
There you go. So that's a Victoria Valley Distillery single malt distillers collection, work in progress, bottle 49 of 76.
So recognize that signature.
Yeah, there's Dave's.
When was it called?
And it's in a 130 ml bottle. That's what I find most interesting about that. Anyway.
So when was it Victoria Valley?
Before it was Starwood.
And New World Distillery.
Yeah, it was New World. Yeah.
New World Whiskey Distillery, the Victoria Valley Distillery. Yeah, there you go.
That was his original name, was Victoria Valley before Starwood.
And the old site in Essendon used to have that above the door. When you walk in, it'd say Victoria Valley Distillery, and you're like, oh, I don't know what that is. So I'm here to drink Starwood. And it was kind of like this bit of, I like that kind of history though, bit of local history that's I find interesting.
With the old Joadja stills from Joadja Mark 1.
That's right, Joadja Mark 1 stills that were there and holding on for dear life. And
they're the ones on the plinth at the. It's not called New World. The Port Melbourne is called Starwood Distillery, isn't it? It's not called New World anymore.
They've done away with the New World moniker entirely, but it's the Starwood Distillery now. But it's
the company name I think is still New World.
Yeah,
right. New World Distillery.
But
it's called New World Whisky Distillery. That's on the address. It's New World Whisky Distillery.
Oh, so it is still that. Because I know Sullivan's changed from Tasmania Distillery to Sullivan's Cove Distillery.
Which was interesting. It was an interesting decision in itself from a branding perspective, because it's like, I mean, no one knew what Tasmania Distillery was. It's like everyone just refers to it as, oh yeah, Sullivan's Cove, Sullivan's Cove. I mean, even people in the trade refer to it as Sullivan's Cove. We didn't say, oh, I'm going to Tasmania Distillery. It's like, well, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
But it's and that was that discussion I had with some of the Tassie guys on the big Friday night live stream a month ago, whatever it was. Like John Jarvis on there saying he couldn't believe that he picked up Hobart whiskey as a trademark. It's like, oh, no one had ever done Hobart whiskey before. It's like, oh, how have they not done that before?
That's another example. There's no Hobart Distillery. It's the Devil's Distillery that makes Hobart whiskey.
That's right, yes, yeah, but making Hobart whiskey.
Hobart whiskey. Overeem, or the original Overeem came from the old Hobart Distillery. Yes. I found that quite interesting because, I think it was probably early days in the marketing hadn't quite kicked in. But people were confusing, and it was confusing for consumers to be like, what does OHD 59 mean from Overeem? What does HH and TD for Sullivan's mean? A quick shout out to, before we go on, big bustling Barry Melia, who says, g'day to everyone in the live chat. He's on the train, so I don't know if you can hear this, but I know Bazza is a fiend for the live tastings, and he actually popped in the store today. He got to go to his first tasting in 4 months. Did a bit of I think it was a Nebbiolo flight at the wine centre. So good to see you, Bazza, and hope you get home safe.
Whiskey is my jam actually writes, and Sullivan's Cove Distillery is actually nowhere near the actual Sullivan's Cove, which is another interesting point within itself. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And Bazza actually, he just says hi to everyone. Alex, of course, you get a special mention here. He said he loved his time at the Milne restaurant. He's a bit of a food buff. If you add more wine tastings, you'll see a lot more of big bustling Bazza at the Milne, I reckon.
You know what's funny? Wine tastings didn't work at Milne. We did a couple of special dinners there, and they filled, but not like our whiskey events, which fill within 5 to 7 days. We usually release them 2 to 3 weeks before, and they're gone within 5 to 7. But the wine ones were sort of like winter solstice dinners. And while they sell out and they're all great, they definitely didn't have the demand like the whiskey dinners. So, I'd love some beautiful wine dinners at Milne again. Great.
Well, I'll come around and drink wine if you want.
So we're here. We're ready for that.
We're all here. It's fine.
Game.
I won't be able to tell you anything about it apart from it's the house Pinot Noir, but I'll drink it.
Alex, were there more questions? Did we miss out on some questions from you dropping out? Is there more?
No, that was pretty. That was 15 questions.
That was good fun though. I think maybe every.
I do that every week. That was an hour and a half of my life.
No,
because it's live and I had to fact check everything.
Yep. Yeah. I think maybe even if we have guests, maybe just a quick 5-question quiz to see. Yeah. I think, and but maybe someone else does it so you can be part of it next time. You can join the fun. You can think out your own keyword.
I'm coming.
Are you just trying to find a way to crawl yourself back so that over the weeks you can be like, oh, I did well,
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously.
Beat you.
Winner.
All right, wins for the week. I'm going to ask that as the last question.
Sorry,
what was that?
I know it's only Wednesday, but what's been your win in the last week? Everyone's going to have a happy win of the week, whether it's a great whiskey that you tried or...
In of the week. Well, the Swans lost, so that's not going to work. Win of the week. The first ever virtual Le Mans 24 on the weekend, last weekend, that should have been the actual Le Mans 24. That was pretty good. I think that was a success. Congratulations again to the Rebellion Racing team who took out the LMP2 class and overall title honours. I know that they follow me quite closely, obviously. No.
Matt?
Come back to me.
What do you think of positive things that have happened this week?
But it's a bit like, for me, it's still like when I got to go to Gorgeous George for the first time about 4 weeks ago, Dulce's the week after, our night at Big Poppers, like they were such highs that in the past week, like I went back to Rover last Wednesday. That was pretty awesome.
I was there just before you.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So like there on Sunday.
Yeah. Bailey.
I'm also struggling a bit here, but
positivity, guys, come on.
But when I'm so high on life at the moment, like this it's just a constant. The bars are back open. The bars are back open. From the Facebook chat, Karina says quiz time is a winner.
Quiz time.
And I think Karina, next time you might need to join us in the Zoom chat, whether it's on video or not. But I think you can react as quickly as we can, because I think you won a couple there.
Yeah, I mean, I can just we can do a full, like, as many people on the Zoom thing.
So Wine Shot Scotty asks Rob on this chat. Whiskey is my jam says Tassie theme 1 week. I'll post questions in chat. All the round table can answer.
Oh,
well, I kind of like that actually. Whiskey is my jam.
Go downhill.
He can ask the questions and we can take the answers. I like that.
I like that. We can get them wrong collectively.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rob Aker says you can tell Alex is management now with this win of the week talk. Yeah. Management. Bam. Team, what's your win of the week?
I tell you what, my win of the week, which I was ecstatic about today, is Lachlan and I have been talking about doing some training for him and the Whiskey and Ailment staff. And he was like, can we set up some training sessions on your brands and send some samples? And I was like, absolutely love to. But because of COVID and everything else, my budgets on these have basically kind of dived to the bottom, because it's been really hard to then continue the volume through this period in the on-trade. And so where we expected to get volume, we didn't. So it was a case of like, actually, you have to kind of halt that spend in the on-trade because you've got nothing to back it up. And as a business, obviously, we've had to get through this. And so he reached out and said, can you come and do this training? I said, I'd love to. I just don't know what I can do. I said, I'll pop into the office and just see what I've got. And I was ecstatic today because I had way more in the office than I thought I had. And so I was just going through the office. Not only did I have all the sample bottles that I didn't think we had in the office, because some of the reps told me that they've all gone, and I just found a box of them sitting there. I was just like, clearly you didn't find those bottles. So I had all the boxes where I could send them way more than I would normally be able to do, because I can just pour them into these and go, cool, that's what you need, and not be wasting stock. So yeah, it meant that I could actually send out what I need to someone that needs it, and actually over deliver from what I've said. So I'm very happy with that.
That's very cool.
Mine was that I went to Stuyvesant House. Has anyone been into the wine cellar there?
Oh yes, love it. I had a lunch there like 2 years ago. It was ages ago since
I'm sorry, people, but yeah.
Whereabouts?
Stuyvesant House.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Crow's Nest.
Yeah, it's amazing. Last time I was there, they had this whiskey cabinet as well, and they had like the Bemore 30-year-old dragon bottlings just sitting there, and I was like, "What?" And it's like, "How long has that been there?" It's like they're like, I don't know, 20 years. Like,
yeah.
Well, if we want to talk about wine, I've just noticed that the great Sophie from ex-Rover, now Milne, is jumped on the chat. She might be gone by now, but I might need to get my wine tasting / Janet's masterclass through her rather than through Alex to have that at Milne, to bring wine tastings and Janet tastings back to Milne.
What do you mean back to?
Well, yeah, because it never happened before. No one's ever done a Janet tasting at Milne before.
Janet tastings?
Yeah, it's quick, it's rough, it's tough. But we all feel good after it.
We'll do a full combo. We'll do wine tasting into whiskey tasting into Janet's, and we'll combine three powers.
I think the idea is close, but I think you just do a Janet in between each tasting.
Right.
I just got so excited. I realized there's one question I missed.
That's why I was asking. I was wondering.
We're back. We're back.
This is a good one. Go for it.
So basically, what this is the grand final one. Whoever wins this wins everything.
Actually, this is a good one to finish on.
Nah, you're not taking that.
Mute Milne. Far out. I'm excited about this one. What whiskey was Frank Sinatra rumored to be buried with?
Dram.
Matt Bailey.
Jack Daniels.
This Sinatra select.
I just won the whole quiz.
you got one question right. No.
Did you hear what she said? If someone gets this one right.
Scotty said that actually.
And I don't have any authority, so obviously I've been overruled. Alex has more importance than all of us combined. And to be fair, on the 10-second delay, Karina has just said Jack, so probably she wins the quiz.
She wins the quiz.
Yeah. She wasn't even in the quiz. She's trumped us all.
Not accepting one bit. No.
Oh, I love how celebrity you are. That's so cute. Matt Bailey, congratulations on winning the first round of Roundtable Quiz.
Redraw, recount.
Results are in. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much. As Whiskey is my jam says in the comment section, Matt for the win. My faith is restored.
Spare me.
Test him. Send him in for testing.
Has the Scotch Malt Whisky Society actually applied for cult status to avoid tax? Is that what's happened here?
They're a religion, I think.
If ever there was a time to do the whole, sorry, can I hear? That was the time. I'm just hearing, just in news.
Yep.
Scotch Malt Whisky Society officially a cult. Officially a cult. Even with the eyebrow up, I don't know if I can do the eyebrow up thing, but I'm trying to.
It worked.
Bullshit.
Let's select your religion after Jedi Master. SMWS.
I accept nothing. I accept none of these. You acknowledge the real winner, or otherwise I'm never coming back. Right?
not a bad little next census idea is how many people we can get to write SMWS on their religion. Can we beat Jedi? I know that craft beer is quite a big thing, so obviously a lot of Jedi fans there. But if we get all the whiskey drinkers to go to SMWS,
right? So I wouldn't mind a tax-free exemption. That'd be great.
I think I might have more chance of getting all the Vikings out there putting Milne as the religion.
Yeah, do so Valhalla, or what do you think's going to be easier to write, Valhalla or the Milne Highland Park 14-year-old as my religion?
The latter.
Don't spoil it.
I can't spell Valhalla.
Scotty.
Sorry?
Don't spoil a good story with the truth, all right?
Yeah, but we just need some voting cards, just like the election, but just the census, just some letterbox, when you get to the religion box, write Milne 14-year-old Highland Park.
Yeah, or SMWS.
Yeah.
By the way, Mark also writes, he's tried the Jack Daniels Frank Sinatra bottling too, and it came with a USB stick of his songs on it.
Ooh.
His songs or Frank's songs? Which one?
Well, Frank's no.
I have a confession.
Here we go.
So I have purchased
3 bottles of Frank's, not just select.
I have purchased a Costco card.
Oh.
So
Okay.
That's not a confession. That's a business.
There's just over 1 million people in Australia who've done that. I wouldn't call it.
Listen, just so I can go out and buy a bottle of Jack Daniels in a guitar case.
I can send you a Southern Comfort guitar. If you really want a guitar, we've got them from Southern. Like, it's fine.
I saw.
There's nothing more to be said. That's it.
I love you. That's it.
Yeah.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We've hit the wall. This is
the Oak Barrel, Southtrade, and Scotch Malt Whisky Society existed up until this point. We've all picked. We're all going to close.
In a great run,
that was it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Jack Daniels comes in a guitar case, and that's why you got to
apply for jobs at Brown Foreman tomorrow morning.
You know what? Yes, thank you. I hear there's some great janitorial roles going. I'm out of here. Thank you so much.
I can fix your printer. I can't, but I'll try.
It's just the size of everything out there, and I just can't wait to go out, and I want a bottle of Jack in a guitar case. I also want a 8-person giant flamingo that has a pool of itself inside the flamingo. And
yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, and a 2.5 meter long cake. So,
that's a sentence that definitely makes sense. Yep, no,
Jack Daniels.
Yep. No, I got that. Yep, good.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make excuses for it's not just about the Jack Daniels.
It is though. It totally is.
It's like, own it, mate. That's the only reason I'd have the card.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen some other bottles pop up than when we originally started. So should we go around the grounds again to see what we're drinking? Because I've been on.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm on the Corowa characters at the moment.
Andy.
Oh, Andy.
Well, Alex,
Flex.
I'll pop in and see with it. I had the joy of going into my office today for the first time in 3 months, and so raided a whole lot of stuff from my desk.
You got it too.
And yeah, it's a treat. It really is.
It's a nice whiskey. It's got this tacky little sticker on the bottom that says imported by Southtrade or something on the bottom of it. I don't know how to get that off though.
Who?
I've never. Sorry, what was that? I'm just hearing about this now.
Is yours the Whiskey Hunt one?
No, it's just foolproof.
Just stand foolproof. Yeah,
it's foolproof.
Yeah.
Apparently, I didn't never get to try it because it sort of. I got 6 bottles and they all disappeared in about an hour from the Whiskey Hunt single cask. Barton foolproof, but there's a lot of expensive booze that comes out of America, and particularly from like the Buffalo Trace Antique and all that sort of stuff. It's excellent. It flies. The bang for buck and what was winning awards out there, all that sort of hype thing. That 1792 foolproof, by far, pound for pound, the winner of American whiskey this year.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like there's hype in the sort of, this is super expensive and this is crazy. And it's like, Pappy and Antique and E.H. Taylor, they're great whiskies, and you pay for them, and that is the case. 1792, it just sits there under the calm, and it baffles me, but it delights me at the same time, because I can sit there and just go, yeah, I can still drink this, and it's one of the few in our portfolio that I get access to and I get to actually drink, because
I've ever had it.
Tell me when you're in the office and I'll come and see you.
I'll be in the office for that stuff.
like now?
Yeah.
The stream's over, guys.
Yeah.
I'm calling my Uber. No, I'll come and see. It's a delight, and it's really interesting to try it against Whiskey Hunt bottling, because they got really lucky. Just as it won Whiskey of the Year, they then released theirs.
It was on a boat or
it was
something.
on the boat.
On its way to Australia as it became Whiskey of the Year.
As the award won. Just like, we picked good. It was like, yeah, you fucking did. And yeah, it was a treat. It was a bit more richer. It was a bit fuller, and a bit more lively than the sort of standard bottling. But yeah, a real treat and a real bargain in amongst what can be some very expensive games.
It's not available in Australia at the moment, is it?
Foolproof.
Yeah.
What we had, we'd sold through. So this is a bottle I've had sitting on my desk for 9 months, and yeah, we sold through the stock. We sold through most of the stock, and then when we won the award, everything went in, a snap.
It's not available.
Yeah.
You could just say no, Andy. It's easier.
So
I think more's coming, but I actually can't tell you.
So if I do my journalistic thing again and just reports in from Andy Milne, that was a cock tease. Yes, that's correct. That's what that was.
That's what we call it, cock tease.
Yeah. A quick g'day to Fiona Dunn, who's just tuned in. Is a name I haven't heard for a long time. I hope you're doing well, mate. I haven't spoken to you in ages. I'll send you a message afterwards. Got a quick question from my uncle, Craig Fitzsimons, who is smashing hard ice near the fire in his back shed. Hopefully the fire's not in the shed, but you never know. What's the best craft beer to try? And I'm going to take that question and mangle it.
It's a VB throwing.
Yeah, but I'm going to change that question into something whiskey related, because I know that particularly Matt, you've done a lot of Boilermaker classes around the country with the society. Has anyone discovered a Boilermaker recently? Something that goes, whether it's a beer, for me, it's Pinot Noir with my whiskey. Anyone had a good Boilermaker in the last, couple of months or weeks or something that's worked well?
Boilermaker.
I find it's one of
that one.
It's one or the other. I either like a really simple beer and a complex whiskey, or vice versa.
Do you know what a Boilermaker is?
A Boilermaker drunk very, very quickly?
Boilermaker.
Yeah.
Boilermaker.
Yeah. A glass of Ruinart and Balvenie. 12.
Why did Ross Blaney's face come into my head when you said Ruinart and Balvenie? Why did that happen?
He must have, I don't know whether he coined it or
not.
No,
he's involved in the creation of this domination.
I remember there's a night
and can we call it Runar as
come on.
Called?
Who invited the European?
Let's give it its actual name, let's be polite.
Can we just call it?
Yeah. The next thing you're going to say is it's not champagne, it's bloody champagne or something like that. Yeah.
My favorite is and it comes up in Australia a lot. It's like, are we going to have some French champagne? It's like, well, champagne is French. It's like, no, some French champagne. I'm like, nah. And that just means anything sparkling.
For me, it's still ATM machine.
It hurts me. All right.
ATM machine. Oh, I need to go to the automatic teller machine. That's always my favorite.
Or it's an American Scotch.
No.
No, it's okay. So I actually don't mind that, because I think that's like when someone comes in, because you get it for Australian Scotch, Japanese Scotch all the time.
I love it. I think it's cute as fuck.
But it's also it's a great opportunity to educate people, because they come in do you have any of that Australian Scotch? And you go, okay, that Scotch it's one of those rare brands that has transcended its category. You don't buy a car that is a Ferrari, you buy a Ferrari, and a Ferrari's not a car, it's a Ferrari. It's transcended its category. And I love that Scotch has done that as well. That therefore, all whiskey in the world must be Scotch. Bourbon's done it as well. I don't drink whiskey, I drink bourbon. And so I love that sort of that opportunity.
Scotty, it's funny you mentioned that actually. That I just finished an article for a magazine which was called Motors and Malts, and it was about pairing cars and whiskey. P.S. Don't drink and drive. And how would you find? Because I'm a car enthusiast enough that I want to talk about it. It was sort of like, what would a peated whiskey look like? Why is a peated whiskey a Lagonda? Like, why could a peated whiskey be like a 1939 Lagonda? And why could a young and sprightly?
That's wrong.
No, you're mate. Calm down. And why would a like
under the collar cars and whiskey? What the hell?
Yeah, why? And I was writing how like something like a young and sprightly whiskey from the society or something could be like a Lotus Exige. And I
was going to say Hyundai XL, but I know where you're going with that.
Yeah, as long as that Hyundai XL has a modified AKG exhaust system and yeah, it's proper.
And I mean that in a very good way, because the Hyundai XL has replaced the Holden HQ as the best budget motor racing category in Australia. Watching 63 Hyundai XLs power around Bathurst is one of the great joys of my life.
Mind you, the Hyundai XL also replaced Holden many years ago as the most stolen motor car in automotive history.
It was cheap and there was no security on them whatsoever. They were so easy to break into.
All right.
Anyway.
What would a Bugatti Veyron be?
Or a Chiron or a Veyron? I mean, okay, let's go with Veyron. A Bugatti Veyron whiskey.
We're talking 60s, 70s Mclaren. Excellent, but overpriced.
No way. Are we talking about like, okay, stop, hold on. Are you going to call Veyron a 60s or 70s Macallan?
Let me get my gun before we start this conversation.
1946 Macallan.
Okay. Okay.
Bailey, what do you reckon? What do you call it?
I'd call it modern Macallan.
Ooh, okay.
I'd say classic cut. It's something not classic cut. It's like one of those Enigma or like one of the $6,000 bottles that are 40% with no age statement, but are black as night in this bottle kind of things. That's what I call it.
But classic cut's like a $300 car strength. Don't know what to do with it.
I don't know the core range well enough, but I'm just saying it's.
Okay, so we agree it's a Macallan.
It's a Lalique.
Yeah,
Lalique.
Right. That's
Lalique.
Yeah.
Lalique's a little bit sort of like understated, whereas a Veyron is not. It's fine. Like a Lalique comes in a nice sort of.
It comes in the most extravagant. Like half the price is the crystal that it comes in.
But it's very stately. I wouldn't call the Veyron stately. I'd call it a W16 ridiculous.
But, I guess the Lalique is like
extravagance.
New world extravagance, pretending it's old world extravagance.
Here's a comment from Darren Howie who says the Veyron is Black Art 4.1.
I like that. I do like that.
No, I like that comment. I like that. That's a very cool comment.
Okay, Jaguar F-Type.
That's Springbank local barley.
No, it's more elegant than that, I think.
I was going to go
Bowmore 66.
Yeah, Bowmore 66, easy.
Yeah. So like old floral. Yeah, no, done. Sort of next. That one was easy. Alex, your car recommendation?
A 1967 Camaro.
Yes.
Balcones Brimstone.
Yes.
Or Balconis, whatever I don't know how to pronounce it these days.
The ultimate car in the whole wide world. Like, give it.
It's a Balconis Brimstone at car strength. Absolutely. Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yep. Sorry, it is. Absolutely.
I need to have that whiskey then.
Sorry?
I need to have that whiskey. I haven't had it.
Ooh, it's actually been brought in again by Iconic Beverages based up north in Queensland.
If that's like my dream muscle car whiskey, then.
So Texas Shrub smoked single malt from Texas.
Shrub smoked like Texas whiskey.
Texas Shrub at a Texan distillery.
A bourbon with a punch in the face. It's great, but it is like, here I am.
Oh my God, yes.
It's like if the accelerator button didn't have like a floor to go to, it just went 360 and kept going.
Yeah.
You go and drink it, and then they press the NOS button.
Yeah.
You know,
no, NOS isn't real. My car, and I'm going to take a hint from Marco Grezza, who said Bentley, and I'm going to pick a specific Bentley, the Bentley Continental Mark II GT3 that won the Bathurst 12-hour 2020. And it's the last time that car is going to run this year because Bentley Motors have told M Sport, the team running the car, that they're not going to be involved in the IGTC, the International GT Touring Competition for it. So a Bentley built for, so basically a model of the Bentley Continental turned into a road car that has won the most prestigious, in my opinion, motor race in Australia.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm definitely gonna have to throw my hat in the ring for my car has to be a McLaren F1. It's the greatest. It's the most interesting road going car I think ever built. It was the fastest car to exist for 13 years straight or whatever it was, or 20 years straight. And it's the sound of that gold plated BMW engine sitting in that McLaren was a true nightmare and disaster and everything that was good about it.
So let's match whiskies to them then. Let's start with the McLaren F1. So I'm thinking, I don't know what distillery, I'm thinking something from the 80s. Like that.
Yeah, well, it's a 90s car, but it could be an 80s distillery.
Like that early 80s before the crash, sort of like end of the golden era sort of thing. Because I feel like after McLaren F1, that inspired a lot of things afterwards. So,
okay.
I don't know, like do we, I mean, is like 70s, 80s Lefroy, maybe?
No, it has to be. I would say the F1 is definitely a closed distillery. It has to be. You're not allowed to make a car like that anymore.
Yeah, okay. Well, in that case, it would be, I think Brora, because it's not Rose brand.
I'll go Brora. It's very expensive and very nice whiskey.
Imperial.
Port Ellen?
Imperial, because it's iconic, but it's rarely the go-to because it's so unique and it's so different that it's not cult status. It's kind of that you've picked something special, and it is special for what it is, but it's not, Bugatti, and it's not, Ferrari, and it's not Jaguar. It's that kind of like, you're a little bit left field.
But is Imperial too pretty for the McLaren F1? Because it had those like angles to it.
You know what? Actually, someone's brought up in the comment section saying they commented Brora before we did, and then they wrote great minds. But they also wrote that McLaren F1 has the honor of being crashed by Mr. Bean. This is actually a cool story. Rowan Atkinson actually bought an F1. He crashed it like badly, and it was repaired. And then he crashed it again 3 months later and completely totaled it, nearly killing himself. And then he got it completely repaired from the ground up, and then sold the car for twice of what he bought it for, even after totaling it.
Because it was Rowan Atkinson's?
No, because it was just an F1. There's so few for sale, and there's also Rowan's. But there's so few for sale that he managed to destroy the car twice. McLaren completely rebuilt it from scratch, and then it's now a new car again, essentially. So for you, Scotty?
So my particular one was, and it's, again, something that's very personal to me, and I was there, and I remember that, like, that day at Bathurst, Bentley's hashtag, or like their marketing term, was always "Bring the Thunder." And in the last 2 hours of the 12-hour, it was meant to rain, and I've never seen it before. But the clouds came from orange, and they split around the mountain. And every driver on interviewed was like, "I know we bring the thunder, but please do not bring the thunder. We do not need rain to stuff this up for us. We just need to get home." So I think that, like, maybe something like a Port Charlotte Isla Barley, one of the younger releases, that's all for the Bentley GT3 charging around the mountain. This particular chassis.
I'm actually surprised you chose the Bentley GT3. I wouldn't have picked you for a Bentley GT3 kind of guy. I get it, but it's
Yeah, so like that car in its race going configuration at that moment in time will never ever leave me. And again, to the fact that, you know, they're not going to compete again for the rest of the year, and that program has been dissolved until further notice. Like
I just would have picked you more as like a 996 era Porsche GT2 kind of sort of person. Like,
no, I'm actually, like, to be honest, I'm actually a first era Audi R8 GT3. Apart from, like, if we go back to Super Tourers, like
I love the R8s, by the way. I know we're not talking whiskey anymore, but I love the R8.
The Audi A4 Super Tourers. Brad Jones Racing era, Amaru Park, bouncing around in, you know, sort of Western Sydney. And Audi did save the Bathurst 12 hours, so I have to support them by default, because my favourite weekend of the year wouldn't exist without Audi putting some corporate support behind it about 8 years or 10 years ago now.
Hold on, Andy, what Duesenberg have you chosen for your car, your pick?
I'm going to say I beg for your car.
Okay, I can see some Ugadal, like incredibly pretty, but really like, and it's got that wine cask in it that gives it that bit of sweetness, but it thunders,
richness, Andy,
I
don't
have
say an MG or.
I have no idea about cars, so I have never owned a car. I've held a driving license for over a decade. I lived in London where I didn't need a car, and so all I drove was transit vans and large, you know, long base vans. And I now moved here, and I still don't need a car. So I've never been obsessed or understanding of cars. If I was,
I'll take you to Bathurst one week. It's a religious experience.
If I was to sort of go, oh, what's the car that you would love to have? It's probably quite controversial with this group, but the Jaguar E-Type electronic.
Oh, yeah, you were so close until the last one.
I know. And the thing is, the thing, like, my brother-in-law will hate me for listening to this, because growing up, he had Subaru Imprezas, he had Mitsubishi Lancers, and he used to drive me around in all these cars, and they were great. He had an Audi RS4, which I remember borrowing that for a long weekend, and I went off to the Cotswolds with my wife, and it was superb, but also scary as hell to realize how powerful this car was. Like, I remember being stuck behind a learner driver, and I just sort of put my foot down, going, well, I'm just going to overtake this person. Put my foot down and realized that my speed was definitely not approved by the police. And all of a sudden, it's like, in passing him, it's like, you know, it's not like you sort of carried on going. It's just like, just in passing him, it's just like, shit, what's going on? And it was a superb feeling, and I love that car. But I've never been this kind of like, oh, I love car, I love muscles, I love that kind of thing. But
I reckon I know exactly the whiskey for that car, though.
But I love a car in terms of a look, and so that old school Jaguar E-Type, it's like that long, that silver, that elegance, and Aston Martin is probably the other style that's just like, it's not about show and extravagance, it's just a beautiful, elegant style of car.
What's the whiskey,
Scotty? So I'm going to tell the whiskey for that car in a second. A quick day to, there's been a few suggestions here. People said DeLorean, the Porsche 956. Dave and/or Caroline Taylor says F40 Ferrari is the ultimate 80s car. And Pete Stevens says he loves the R8 too, in reference to Matt. I love the R8, but only in the car racing version, the GT3 homologated FIA version. I've got no interest in the road car. As I have no interest in road cars, car racing thing. And a quick day to Mariella Romano from the Aaron Distillery, who was our special guest last week, is tuning in.
Amazing.
Dave, love to see you again.
I missed you, Dave.
Yeah, too busy partying for a promotion. But for that particular Audi, like the rally champion of the world, it's Springbank. Everything you were saying, every way you described that whiskey was like, it's got power and you don't really know what to do with it. And then you figure it out and it's just beautiful after you do that. A little bit rough around the edges, but glorious. Like that's where I think Springbank local.
You call RS4 a rally champion. You call RS4 a rally champion. Come on. Are you going to replace the Delta Integrale with the RS4? What the hell?
Yes, that's what I'm going to do.
Revisionist history. I tell you what.
No. What we're talking about here is a thoroughbred with DNA from the old Quattro. You look at an RS4 and you think about the old
We're going back to
Quattro.
Quattro era. Yes, okay, fine.
That's where I'm pulling that from. Because the RS4 I don't think had the same, stability as some of its sedan going, counterparts. But I just think it just had that grunt. It was like a little bunny rabbit wanted to get up and go everywhere.
That works.
Yeah. So how do we get here again?
Just like we always get off topic on some other bullshit.
Well, yeah. Well, I think that's yeah.
Time to head to bed.
What time is it?
Yeah, cool.
No idea. I'm going to keep going.
Well, thank you for
Rover is calling.
Quiz notes tonight.
Yeah, no, this was great tonight. Thank you so much. This has been good.
I really love the idea of matching cars to whiskey. I think this is brilliant, and it's something I'm going to do a little bit more research.
And you can read all about it in our July outturn as well as the magazine coming out soon. But that's okay. That's my plug for the night done. There you go, done.
And
I'm just glad to be crowned a champion. It's it's great to know that I'm the most knowledgeable of the group.
It's hard winning the quiz, but somebody has to do it. I'm glad it was me. I really appreciate you all playing.
Well done,
it's fine.
No,
thank you.
But how do you feel that in reality, someone who wasn't in the quiz at all has beaten us all?
Yes.
The Facebook collective, led by Karina, crushed us all.
Girl crush, like wow, she did well.
Yeah.
I've got a final question from my boss that's now watching. What car is Buffalo Trace?
Oh, it's a VT. No, it's a VT or VY Holden Commodore Ute.
Yeah. No.
No, that is the Buffalo Trace vehicle.
Okay, no, I get that.
That's a literal answer to that question.
Send me the bottle of Buffalo Trace. Like that's actually the vehicle, and I've seen it at meat stock, and it had a big pig in the back of it.
See, I would have actually gone with a Honda CT110 postie motorcycle. It's old, reliable. It's never going to die. It's on every back bar. It's everywhere you turn. There's a postie on a bike. Every bar has Buffalo. Every good establishment has it.
No. For me, like there's a lot going on here. Like it's Buffalo Trace is like it's very, very good, right? But it is on every back bar, so it's not rare. It's not exclusive. You don't need to be on a waiting list to buy it. That sort of shit. It's tasty, but it's got it's got a kick to it. It's got a bit of get up and go. I want to say it is, and again, I only speak in car racing terms. So going back to the pre-GT3 era of the Bathurst 12-hour, and these cars raced at the Bathurst 24-hour as well in 2003 and 2004. God rest its soul, Bathurst 24-hour. But I would say it was sort of like late era Evo Lancers. No, because they were everywhere. They went round and round and round and round. They were bulletproof. They were excellent. There was a bunch of them. Corolla? There was a lot of them.
Get out.
Did you say Corolla?
And Mazda. Yeah,
Evo Corolla. Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. Corolla. Yeah.
Fishy, by the way, not.
No, you're wrong. Evo Lancers.
So Toyota Corolla is the bulletproof, cockroach-proof, nuclear apocalypse.
No, but not in car racing terms. In car racing terms, it's the Evo Lancer and endurance Bathurst.
Okay, yes, okay, sure.
You're wrong.
Right. So what does your boss think? Hi, John, by the way.
Scotty coming in hot here. Brocky, foie.
Yes. And I actually saw there's a Brocky doco coming up that was meant to go to cinemas. It's actually going to hit I think rental like Google Plays and Apple, whatever the Apple.
Oh, it was always a straight to VHS release. That one. It was
it's going to go to cinema.
All right.
It was the original plan. It should have been released.
I'll wait for it on Betamax. It's okay.
So I went to a deportment school when I was 16. Learned to walk and talk and make up and how to handle myself as a young lady. And
wow. Did you do like the thing on head thing?
All did that. Can do that. Can dine with the Queen as well. So manners are on point when I choose to use them. And I did not like the lady that was hosting it. And she reminded me of Cruella de Vil. So when she asked me what do I aspire to in life, I said to have Brocky's grandchild.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yep. Just to be a little shit.
We're still live, by the way.
Yeah. I met Brocky at both Amaru Park and Oran Park. And I remember for my 7th birthday at primary school.
Sorry, Scotty. Dark realization of. Sorry.
Yeah. No, but Mum, because remember in primary school, I don't know if this was, but in Darcy Road Primary at Wentworthville, you bring a cake to school on your birthday, and every kid in the class gets a cake. It's a bit of an event. But I said, because he retired, I think one of his first retirements. This is pre his Bathurst 24 win in 2004. Was Brocky 05, thanks for the memories, was on my birthday cake. Plugger was my 8th birthday cake. Plugger, who played full forward for the Swans. Yeah. We don't remember him playing for St Kilda ever. Did it happen? Don't know. But he played for the Swans, that's for sure.
No, you lost me when you went to AFL.
Well, I look forward to you celebrating a Parramatta premiership for the first time since 1986 in a rugby league.
I'll be back in my old school days, hanging out with NRL players. So,
Scotty,
those stories after party. I want to hear them all.
It's not 2040, so just calm your harm.
Yeah. It's the coolest
shit on like what?
It's the coolest thing ever to go 5-0 on a Parramatta season, because it's like everyone's optimistic. It was like, not again. We're not gonna throw this away again, are we? We're definitely going to throw this away again. David and/or Caroline Taylor Plugger's my wife's cousin. I was there the day he not the day he broke the record, but I was in the ladies' stand, which is one of the members' stands, the day his last game before he came back out of retirement and embarrassed himself.
No one knows what you're talking about. Yeah, this is sorry. This is an era.
That's on the whiskey.
All right.
Okay, that's it.
I apologise to the 16 people watching on Facebook. I do apologise.
JP's just commenting, ha 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 ha. The winners start with an R, not a P, mate.
What?
Oh, wrecked.
Like, if he's talking about Canberra, then they start with a C, not an R. This is one of rugby league's greatest problem is it was like the Roosters. Tigers versus
the
Seagull.
This is round table, Scotty. Round table. Rugby league is actually tomorrow night. You can tune in watching Scotty live. Everyone watching at home right now. Tomorrow night, Scotty's doing a 6-hour session from 6 p.m. onwards talking about rugby league. So
now what we're actually doing is we're going live with the original biodynamic winemaker in the Adelaide Hills, going through a back vintage. We've run out of bottles for that, so if you haven't bought the set already, then we're going to do Joey and Scotty do after hours at about 9 o'clock onwards till, I don't know, what's tomorrow, Thursday. We'll start about 9 o'clock, maybe Monday. We'll wrap that one up.
Yeah, cool.
just go all the way through.
Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Don't forget.
I think probably the strongest numbers on the Oak Barrel live stream for any round table tonight. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We were hanging around 40 at some point. So thank you very much to listening to 3 idiots talking and one excellent person talking as well. You make up your mind who that one excellent person is. Yeah, no, not you, mate. And don't speak, Bailey. It's definitely not you either.
Who is it?
Well, it's neither of us, so you do the maths.
The boss. It's the boss.
It's you, Scotty.
No, it's the boss. Definitely the boss.
All right.